Hello guys, Belle here. Just going to give you guys a little walkthrough on Kosumoth the Hungerer. This is going to be a complete video walkthrough, including the boss fight at the end. It is important to note that you are going to need to complete all these steps in order to be able to get the attunement for the world quest. Killing the boss without the world quest will not grant you any rewards except for trash, so that's important. You are going to go see Drakthul, which is on Broken Shore. Once you go see him, you're going to talk to him. He's going to tell you some things. You're then going to go back to Broken Shore. You're going to locate a cave. Once you locate that cave, you're going to find a dirt mound. You'll see that in the video. Once you click that dirt mound, you'll be able to get the relic. You'll bring the relic back here. You will speak to him. You'll want to make sure that you continuously click on him until he has no more speech bubbles to offer you. That way you know that you've done it completely. Once that's done, you'll start your quest for the orbs. Now, a couple things to note here while you're watching this happen on the screen is in regards to the orbs, you have to click them in the order in which the write-up is done. If you look in the comments, there's a write-up that shows the exact location of each orb to complement this video. Now, if you click them out of order, you won't be able to, you'll have to make sure you click them in order because you won't be able to click the next one if you didn't click the proper one. Now, it's also important to note that these are going to be heavily camped. So I spent 6 hours in the one in Stormheim just trying to click it. God love me as much as I think I'm amazing. I'm a warlock and I lost to the druid every single time. So it is going to be a little bit difficult to complete this. They have hot fixed the server hopping. So if somebody adds you from another server so that you can check to see if that orb is up in that location, that person has to be on the same zone as you in order for the phase to actually work. But they actually hot fixed it earlier while I was working on the video. So that's another important thing to note here. When I went through this video the first time, I didn't realize that I didn't have to kill myself to be able to enter this cave. So the cave that we're going up to is going to be the cave that you're going to loot the relic that you'll need to take back to Drakthul in order to be able to begin finding the orbs. When I first got here, the pathway was blocked. I didn't want to wait, so I killed myself, ran in as a spirit, and rezzed inside the cave. I found out later while browsing the forums to make sure that I had all the information available to you guys, that all I had to do is reload, and it would allow me to enter that cave without the boulders there. I didn't know that when I did the video, but that's important to note. You don't have to kill yourself. That was just me being impatient and wanting to make sure that I could get the information out to you guys. So now that we've got the relic, we need to go back to Drakthul, and we're going to go through a series of speech bubbles to be able to get to the end game here. You're going to want to make sure that you click every single speech bubble. You won't want to move on until you are absolutely certain that there's no more speech bubbles, and in fact, he'll actually be rude and tell you to go away. That's your cue to let you know that you can begin on the orbs. Now, to complement this video, make sure that you do click on the article that's going to be in the description below so that you can see the physical coordinates and you can see the screenshots as well. Some people are visual, some people want to see text. It just depends on how your input is. I did put all that information in there, including strategy for when you actually get to kill the boss and information that you need to know for completing this in order to be able to get the attunement for the world. I'm going to fly to Azurwing Repose in Azuna. It's going to be coordinates 3737. As you see there, you'll just hop down into that cave. You'll be able to see the orb. I got lucky here. The camp time was maybe 15 minutes. The average orb respawn time from click to click, I timed it, was at 50 minutes. Now, a lot of people have said that it was longer, but I sat at a camp spot for 6 hours to get an accurate depiction of the actual spawn time. So it is 50 minutes on the dot. You can set your clock to it. From click to click, it will be 50 minutes. For Orb 2, you'll be going to Lorna's Watch in Stormheim for that flight path. The coordinates are going to be 3275. And once you take that, as you see where I'm located right here, you'll just pop right back through there and you'll be in the cave that you need and it'll be on the bottom left. Orb number 3 is going to be located in Lorlathel in Val Shara. You can take the flight path. Coordinates are 4181. You'll just look up at the front here. You're going to pop into that cave. You're going to want to bring a buddy because there is an arcane there's an arcane elemental in there, and he is not friendly, and he actually one-shot me twice. For some reason, my demon did not pull aggro, and it was a bad time. So I did get a friend. Shout out to Epoxis for being my sacrificial lamb, and he did come to rescue me, and he actually took the aggro so that I could click the orb. This one was a little bit tricky. If you're doing it solo, hopefully you'll be able to manage. If you have a pet, hunters can do it probably relatively easy. I'm not really sure why my blueberry wasn't taking aggro there, but I did get one shot twice because he hits for over 1 million health for his hits. So it is back here in this little cave. If you have either your pet aggro or you have a friend aggro, however that works out, you're just going to click the orb and be good to go. I didn't have anybody camp here, so this one was pretty easy. For orb number 4, you're actually going to want to hearth to Dalaran, and you're going to want to take you can either hearth or you could take a flight path. You can use your whistle. You're going to want to use a glider, go to the broken shore. This one is a little bit tricky, so you're actually going to have to fly over the coordinates, which are going to be 2978. Once you hit those coordinates, as you see on the map, you're actually going to want to dive. Now, you're going to need to time your dive pretty well because the fatigue, and if you don't have underwater breathing, as I do, unending breath, or I'm sure there's a potion or something that you could take. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but you'll want to just make sure you have a clear path and a straight drop down. As you guys saw, the triangle for the hole to get into this cave is a little bit tricky, so you're just going to want to make sure that you time it properly and maybe make a pass or two down there just to kind of time your drop down accordingly, just to make sure that you don't have any issues. Nobody was camped here, so this one was relatively easy for me to acquire, so definitely not a big deal there. For orb number 5, you're going to want to take a flight path to Fell Blaze Ingress in Azuna. The coordinates are 5913. As you see, it is a little bit tricky because of all these beautiful mana crystals that are down here. You're just going to hop down there, and there's going to be an opening that you're actually not going to see. I just kind of ran face first until I dropped down into what I needed. So this one was relatively easy. There wasn't anybody in here by the time I got here, so wasn't a big deal here. Pretty easy. For orb 6, you're actually going to want to take the flight path to Shield's Rest in Stormheim. If you don't have the flight path, take the highest flight path up on the mountain and just glide down as far as you can. The coordinates are going to be 6714. This one was a little weird. Once you get to the flight path, it's just a straight shot north. You're going to want to look for the hammer statue that's coming out of the water. That's going to tell you that that's where the cave's going to be located. Hopefully you guys have a water strider to make your life a little bit easier. If not, you can leverage the raft if you did the angler stuff to be able to go there. Now, once you get to this little monument here, there's going to be a friendly shark. He's not he's not going to attack you, and you'll just kind of go down into this crevice. Now, I have to tell you that this crevice, in the interest of full disclosure, took me a few minutes to be able to locate the exact spot I needed to be in order to be able to find it. So this was a little bit more difficult, but this was actually the second hardest cave to camp as far as the orb. I actually camped this specific one in Stormheim for 6 hours and never actually was able to click the orb because I needed to get the video out, so I actually bypassed it and just went to the others to show you guys the location. So once you drop down in here, once you get inside this cave, you're going to see 1 million people that are going to be camping this spot. This seems to be one of the bottlenecks. If you check out that little crack, that's literally the world's smallest crack in the rock anyone has ever seen. I actually got stuck, but it is inside here. Once you get inside this cave, you're going to see the steaming jets that will come up from the floor. Don't stand over them or near them. They will AoE hurt you, and if you stand over them, they will shoot you in the air, and assuming you do your self heals right, you should survive, but I died a few times not realizing it. There are people that sit on the orb, which is in the center of those steam jets. I don't recommend it because they were dying, so just stand on the outside and you should be good to go. The orb is in the center. For orb 7, this was also a little bit tricky as it did involve trying to make sure that you were smarter than the mountain. So you are going to fly into Skyhorn in High Mountain. It is going to be coordinates 5538. When you fly in, as you see on the map, you're actually going to go towards where the hags are. So I just shot straight down here. There's going to be a little bit of aggro, but as long as you're running, you should be fine to just go straight through. Once you pass the hags, you're going to want to make sure you have a glider with you, or if you have the high mountain kite, it doesn't matter one way or the other. Whatever you have to use is more than fine. Right here off the entrance to the hags is going to be like a cliff that you're going to go up, and you're actually going to have to go just a little bit farther than where your drop point's going to be for your glider, just to make sure that you actually hit your mark. So I looked at a few spots a little bit close and just decided that it needed to be a lot higher up. So the cave is actually in the side of this mountain, and it's actually right below me. So what I did is I went a little bit higher, hopped off, popped my kite, and prayed that I could land in the exact spot that I needed to land on. In the interest of full disclosure, this one took me quite a bit to figure out because there was not any information on this when I did this video. All the information that was on Wowhead and all that did not say you needed to hop off and fly into the side of the mountain. It wasn't until later that a lovely gentleman had given me some advice on how to do that. So you can pick and choose how high you want to go up. I did choose to go up just a smidge higher, and then rotated my screen around so that I could actually get a view of where I was trying to go. So it's actually nested right there, and then you can just pop in there. Now, when you first go through there, you're going to notice that there is a giant cave, and you're going to naturally want to go in that cave, but that cave is actually not a real cave, it's a decoy. You're going to want to go to the cave on the right that I just showed. Then you'll pop in there, and the orb is in the mouth of the skeleton. For orb number 8, you're going to want to take Azure Wing Repose in Azuna again. It is going to be coordinates 5426, so this is going to be a little different. As you've seen, that's a cleverly hidden cave. Then if you wrap around this tree trunk here, you're going to see the orb, which I actually passed, and it'll be right there and easy for you to click. For orb number 9, this is going to be, you're going to need to go to Eye of Ashara. Now, when you take the flight path, the glider, you'll take your glider off from Dalaran. You're going to need to do it by Violet Hold in Dalaran. And the problem is you want to make sure that you make your glider go on the outside of the island. You don't want to drop yourself in the center of the island. It's a bad time, trust me. All the mobs that you see in the dungeon are going to be in there, and they hurt. I'm sure some of you really strong classes could handle it, but just go to the outskirts. The coordinates are going to be 7989. It's your kite or your glider's not going to make it to the other side of the island. So you're probably going to need to drop yourself on the coast and just use your raft or your water strider to just go around where you need to go to make it to coordinates 7989. Now, as you see that very complicated twisty turny cave, it was through the sinking ship. You'll probably have to replay the video again to understand where I went. I didn't even really understand, but was able to get, it's basically a cave underneath the sunken ship that you have to go through. Now your last part here, this is going to be where you have to click the orb that's on Drakthul's desk. Once you click that orb, you will be able to get the attunement for the world quest that will pop up for you to be able to go back into the Eye of Ashara and kill this boss. Now you're going to want to make sure that you have a huge group. You're going to need heals, you're going to need tanks. This guy has lots of health, and we actually wiped a couple times because it was a little bit difficult for people to understand the concept of interrupts. Now the boss does a shadow bolt volley. This has to be interrupted. I think it took 2 full rotations, maybe a 3rd rotation, where we basically just numbered interrupt 1, 2, 3, and 4. Have people be designated for those 4 interrupts, and then just rotate out those 4 interrupts as it goes. You're going to also want to make sure that when the ads pop up that everybody DPSs down the ads. The problem that and the reason we wiped the first 2 times when we attempted this is people weren't killing the ads, and the ads were basically wiping the raid group because the tanks were busy with the boss. The boss does hit hard, he does hurt. If he's not interrupted, he will wipe the entire group. Once you have done this, you will actually be able to get the reward from the world quest, which could drop the mount or the pet. It's not 100% guaranteed, but I think most people have been getting at least the pet if they haven't been getting the mount. So real important to note that you want to make sure that when you go in with this and you get the group together, the people that are in the group, if they don't have the world quest, they're not going to be able to, the pet and the mount do not drop from the boss. It is from the world quest completion. So make sure that they know that ahead of time, because otherwise they're just going to be really sad that they didn't get anything. But it would be nice if they could help you kill it anyway. So there's Group Finder. Lots of people are being able to get this attunement for this world quest. So definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you look in the description to get the article that I did write up on it, so that you could get all the coordinates that you need in case you missed them here. And then any important information or questions you might have regarding this will likely be answered in that article. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on the video and or comment on the article on the PDQ. This video was done with the intention of complementing the PDQ article, so hopefully this gave you everything you need. I also want to let you know that there is in the PDQ article the script commands to be able to double check if you clicked the orb and it counted for you. There's a command for each orb. I did put that in that article just because of the multiple people clicking. You might not know if you got it or not. That script can be run in-game, and you can run it after each click just to verify that you did get it. With several people camping, everybody's clicking like maniacs. You might not know if you're the one that clicked it because there's no tell that says you clicked it. So hopefully you guys this will be everything that you guys need. If there's anything I left out or anything you have any questions on, feel free to comment and I'll get you taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.